Hello, I'm Leanne from Crafters Companion, and in this little video clip we're going to have a look at our brand new and extremely fabulous quilling flower dies. They are absolutely exquisite and I know you're going to love them. Okay, so before we start making a flower, I'm going to show you one of the finished results. So this is the actual flower that we're going to have a look at how to make, and I really love that. I think that's going to be a beautiful centerpiece on a project or card. And these are the dies themselves. So what I've done when we've put this range together is make sure that you've got, in most cases, a large petal and a small petal that will work together the same. So we can see here, for example, that we've got the camellia large and the camellia small. You've got your stamen, which is the little straight bit from the middle. We've got a beautiful dahlia. We've got a lovely lace flower which actually makes a really nice fuchsia type stamen in the middle. Then we've got a large sunflower and a small sunflower that will work together. We've got a large rose and a small rose that will work together. We've got two really lovely and useful leaf designs. And then we've also got blissful flower and marigold in this range. So lots and lots of options in terms of making your own custom quilled flowers. Now, if you're anything like me, you might have shied away from quilling. I certainly did, because it scared me a little. And what I want to do is hopefully show you that with these dies and a little technique that I've put together, you're going to get really beautiful results quickly. Just to mention, we've also got the fabulous quilling tool that works with the dies I arrange. I'm going to be using that as well. Okay, so now on to making a flower. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out one of the dies so you can see how easy they work. So I've got my embosser plates here. I've got my sandwich already made up. And if you haven't heard of the embosser, I've got a YouTube clip on that. Go and check it out. You'll see exactly what it is. But it's a fully electronic die cutting machine, which just makes everything so simple when you're die cutting and embossing. So there's my large camellia die, and just so you can see the difference, there's the small one, so you can see how the petals are smaller to layer up. And I'm just going to put on top of there my piece of decorative paper that I want to cut out to make my flower. So then I'm going to pop my cutting plate on top and I'm going to put it through the embosser. As you can see, it's fully automatic, hands free, just going through, no problem at all. 18 seconds later, I've got a fully cut out die with no effort whatsoever. So I absolutely love the embosser just for that one simple fact. So there we go. We've got the die cut out, and as you can see, I can just peel the surplus away very quickly and easily without any effort. And then to release the petals from the die, what we've got are a number of really useful little release holes at the back. So you see how I managed to poke that and pull that through there. And all I'm going to do is just take a little bit of time and go along all of these little release holes here and just poke through those petals and the edge of the flower. And that means then when I come to take this out of the die, by just being very gentle and taking my time, not rushing, because this little bit at the bottom is thin, I'm able to easily remove my petals from the die without any effort at all, to be perfectly honest. Those little release holes do help an awful lot. So there we go, my petals are out of the die. So once I've done that, what I'm then going to do is go ahead and start to make my flower. So I'll just pop that to one side because I've got some already made up for you. And I'm going to get my quilling tool. So you can see it's a brand new one. I'm actually taking it out of the packet. That's how new these are. And the first thing I'm going to do is start with the stamen. So the stamen is this die where you get to make lots of even small strips that you're going to wind together, which will make the very centre of the flower there. Okay, so that's what the stamen is. It's the centre of the flower, the core. Now, if you're a traditional quiller and if you're very experienced and very clever at it, I apologise to you profusely right now because I'm going to break every rule that you've ever created, simply because I'm useless at quilling and always have been. So this is my cheat, and hopefully if you are like me and haven't been very good at it in the past, it'll help you. But if you're an experienced quiller, what you will have done is use a wet glue with a little dab and then keep dabbing it and rolling it up and letting the wet glue stick it. It just comes to pieces for me. So what I like to do is use my red liner tape, and the very fine one that comes in the red liner tape pack on our website is the absolute perfect width for your quilling flowers. So I've put a line of red tape along here and I'm just going to take it off. And what I didn't do, and hopefully you could see that, was I didn't take it right to the edge. I've left here about 1/2 centimetre, which doesn't have any red tape on, and that means that this will not stick to my quilling tool when I first wrap it round, and that means I can remove the quilling tool easily once the flower's created. So here we go. Pop the end of the stamen into your quilling tool like that, and then just start to wind. Now what I like to do is support the paper on my finger, and what I'm trying to do, because I've got my red liner tape, it's grabbing instantly so I'm not having to worry about it unrolling away from me, is just to keep that flat, straight, top and bottom. So I'm not winding a cone shape, I am winding a flat circle top and bottom. So I'm trying to keep both edges of the stamen in line with the top and bottom of the circle that I'm winding. Okay, so just wind this all the way along. And actually I've found that the more of these I make, the quicker I'm getting at this. And the fact that I've got my red tape, I have to tell you, really makes a huge difference to me. Because if I kept dotting wet glue along there as I went along, that would never have happened in a million years. So what you're looking for is a nice tight core. Then what I've done is taken the petals that I've cut out, this is the one I've just cut, and I've moved on a little way further and made some ready so you don't have to watch me do that. But all I've simply done is ink it up with some Distress ink. Ooh, ruining my little display there. So I've taken some Distress ink and just with a bit of cut and dry foam inked the edges just to give it a little bit of definition. It's quick and easy to do. And you can take a little bit more time and build up more layers if you want to, but that gives you the general idea. I've then taken my thin red liner tape, and I'm doing this just so you can see how easy it is. Find the end, Leanne. There we go. And pop it on the edge here, and then run it all along the bottom length, because that's the little bit that's going to get wound around the flower, and trim it off, and then I'm ready to go with that. So that's one of the bigger ones. So what I'm going to do is start with my smaller leaves in the centre and wind them round. Okay, so I remove my red tape. Tried not to get the backing to stick to me. If anybody's found a magic fix for that, please do let me know. And then I'm going to find where I stopped, so that's the edge of my stamen where it stopped, and I'm going to start to roll, so I butt that up and start to roll the leaves of my flower round. So I'm popping that up to that edge to start it off. Oops. There we go. And then again I'm going to wind the petals round. If you want to make a smaller version of this larger flower, I would just stop there, and you can start to make up like really lovely bouquets with different sizes in. So just use the centre piece as a small flower on its own, or continue with the bigger leaves and layer it up. So we'll continue with the bigger ones here. So again, just pop that to the side. Because I've got my red liner tape on, it's not springing undone, which is a massive bonus for me. And I'm going to do is exactly as I did before, find where I finished, oops, start with the right side, match that up, and then again just start to turn the leaves around, matching the base so it's nice and flat. Not worrying about where the petals lie, because they will just all start to fall in beside each other beautifully. And you can use more than one layer if you want to. Twirl it round, keeping the base nice and flat, as you can see there. And that starts to build up the larger layers for you on the flower. So for this one I've done 2 layers, so I've got one more to do with this one, and let's see if I can do that for you quickly. Why not? Why not? So you will just continue again where you'd left off and start to again wind that round and just make sure that it's nice and flat at the bottom. Okay, and when you're finished, and I'll leave that for now, one quick tip: turn your quilling tool in the opposite direction to what you put it in, and just wiggle it when you bring it out, and then you're still going to keep a nice flat inside. So I'll finish that later because I want to show you some samples. When you've done that, what you're going to end up with is this lovely flower, and you can continue and just give the leaves a little bit more shape and curl and distress if you want to. Then when the flower's finished, what I've got is just a nice little gem that I can stick in the centre, and that finishes my flower off beautifully. So hopefully you can see how quick and easy those quilling flowers are to use. And just what I wanted to show you is as well some of these really beautiful samples where you can see lots of the different flowers that we've used put together to really stunning effect. So this is a beautiful little hanging wreath that we've got with little flowers on here with pearls in the centre, and that's just using the smallest leaf, so they look really pretty. We've got a nice little basket of flowers here where they've been put on a pin and then into some polystyrene with a little paper basket to make a table decoration. A really lovely little happy birthday wall hanging here, again with just various sizes of the flowers on. To look really pretty, and you can see all the different papers, and this is the little blissful one that I told you about, which I think makes a really stunning little centre. I've got that one there, and we can do a lid for a little box using one of the larger leaves there, and I actually think that's the one that I've just used, so that's the large camellia. We've decorated boxes, and this is with the rose, with the large and the small separately, so you don't always have to use them together. And then a lovely little handbag as well, which you can see. Finally, the one that I've dropped on the floor and I'm going to retrieve is the fact that you can cut felt with these quilling flower dies, and I think these 4 poinsettias using felt in the quilling flower die look absolutely stunning on that Christmas card. So with these dies it makes quilling flowers really simple and easy. You're going to get beautiful results just very simply, and if you're not a professional quiller like I am, most definitely not, using the red liner tape is my top tip to getting brilliant results immediately. So I hope you're going to love them, and I can't wait to see what you do with them. Enjoy!